Welcome. This is the TQ Open Finals. Right now, I have to get this call going so I can have a co-caster. Alright, so I apologize for that, but anyway, guys. Okay. Skulls, you there? Skulls?
Yeah, man.
Alright, guys. Say hello to TQ Skulls. He's going to be co-casting with me for this rather amazing TQ Open number 7 finals. Skulls, why don't you say hello?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Alright, hopefully you guys can hear him. Let me know if anything is wrong with that. But for now, I do want to say that we do have Antimage, who is the Protoss spawning in the top, going up against CocoA, who is the Terran on the right. CocoA actually won the last TQ Open and took home the massive, amazingly crazy $20 prize pool. And he did lose the last game, so it was his choice, and I now have to add Dante, it would seem. Or can you do that? Where is it?
Yeah, it's your host, so you have to drag him in there.
I can do that. Where is Spartan Gomez? He's not on Skype right now. You're not on Skype. Anyway, so anyway, CocoA did win the last TQ Open. So yeah, anyway.
So yeah, we got a standard 13K 12 packs opening for P and the T here. P going for a little bit of a later gas than I would go for normally. Normally you want to get your gas 14, maybe early 15. Looks like he got it here on 16. Maybe a late 15.
Yep, but still, for the most part, it's still fairly normal.
Yeah, fairly standard. Fairly standard.
Alright, so yeah, so Dante's actually not going to talk, just going to use our talking for his stream. Wait, how do you do it? Is it Control Enter? Yeah. Alright. So yeah, so Skulls, it's just you and me casting, Dante's just there.
Okay.
Alright, so actually, Antimage has a live probe inside the base of CocoA, and we'll see, actually, CocoA, if you look at the rally point for his barracks, it looks like it will actually have his Marine run around the entire base to try and find that lost probe. Which is pretty good in all things considered. But anyway, the second gas is out for Antimage, so it's probably not going to be some crazy cheese. We'll see what he goes for in terms of corner boosting and next building production.
Good job by CocoA scouting out the side of his base there. You're going to want to do that every single game.
Yep, that's definitely like one of the things that you just add to a checklist that you just have to do every single game. But let's just see. Okay, something I've noticed that every single game, unless he scouted a really fast Reaper, Antimage loves to get a Sentry second instead of a Stalker. And also really fast Robo coming out. So yes, realistically, we'll have just Robo play coming from Antimage again. Yep. Let's just look at the production tab for a second. You can see that. Actually, look at that. Speaking of the Devil of the Reaper, there's actually a Reaper coming out now for CocoA.
Yeah, and a second one. Oh no, that is the first Reaper. My bad.
Yeah, he got a Marauder for his first one, so it looks like it'll just be a scouting delayed Reaper.
Yeah, very good idea again for Terran. Anyone who plays Terran out there, the delayed Reaper Scout. Very effective.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, so actually Command Center is also going down for CocoA, so he will probably try and use that, he'll probably try and use the Reaper just to keep Antimage in his base, or at least force like a unit or two to stay back, just to make sure that his fast expansion is really well defended. Yep. Yep. So we also see that, again, largely barracks play coming from CocoA. And Immortal first? Yeah, I think it's actually a Immortal first, so no Observer come out for Antimage quite yet.
Yeah, and I like Antimage's play here. He's going to want to get his expansion up relatively soon. He doesn't want the Terran player to get the expansion way before him. And with this unit composition, it makes it really easy to hold off a Marauder heavy push. So I really like his choice of units here.
Yeah. Actually, that's another good point. Like, okay, you're a much better Protoss player than I am. So I've noticed that Antimage really stays away from Stalkers, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, Stalkers, they do good damage against Marauders, but they will go down really, really easily if they get focused down. So when you're playing a good player who actually micros his units, the Stalkers feel almost useless sometimes. So you may want to have one in the early game, maybe two at most. But other than that, you want a lot of sentries, zealots, and at least one immortal out there to get your expansion up safely.
Okay, and you'll notice as you say that Antimage did throw down his Expo. Also, another question is that I've noticed that with the force fielding that Antimage does, by the time he gets to like the mid game and he has all those zealots, he will actually force field in front of the bio units to try and get the Colossi in there, but that ends up making the zealots essentially worthless because they just run around behind the force fields and die.
Yeah, you got to be careful with with just sending the zealots in when they're not really going to be able, when they're just tanking shots and not getting any swipes in. Sometimes you want to send them in, then pull them back, do your force fields, and let your ranged units go to town on them. But yeah, the zealots, they're good for tanking. But if you just attack move them into the Terran army with all the force fields up, a lot of the time they're just going to get trapped.
Okay. So that's definitely something to be wary of. Yeah, and oh look, actually we're having seeing a couple more Stalkers from Antimage now. Oh, and
this is a good timing for Mage, or for CocoA.
Yeah,
Looks like Mage playing a very defensive force field, just blocking him off, not trying to cut off half his army, just trying to keep it all out, get that Colossus out, waste his stim. Good move by Antimage there.
Yeah, really well done. And I don't think he really lost anything. He might have lost like one zealot and that was it, but he did take damage, and he dealt a ton if you add up the stim damage.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the Protoss here, is he does not want to engage. He wants to keep the Terran away from his army while he's stimmed, because that's when they do the most damage. And he has no medevacs out yet, so his first stim is the only one that he's really going to want to push with, because any more stims after that, and his army is very weak.
Yep. Especially if Zealots could actually enclose the distance and start wailing on them, that would be incredibly key in a position like that.
Exactly. Some good force fields, and you could lose that whole army in just a few seconds.
Yep. Alright, and Extended Thermal Lance is almost done. More gateways are being added by Antimage, so he's also prepping to expand. You can see that he did take out the gold rocks at his third.
Yep, good idea. Good idea to get that gold expansion as soon as you can, safely.
Yep, and actually with the first starport that's almost completed for CocoA, so he will be producing some medevacs or Vikings out soon.
Now, when the Terran player gets about four and then 6 medevacs, that's when the Marauder-heavy armies become really scary for Protoss. And you're going to have to see some really good force field micro. You're going to have to see at least 3 Colossi on the field. And, yeah, you're just going to need to really be careful because the Terran infantry, particularly the Marauders with medevacs, are really, really resilient.
Yeah, because look, they have 125 health that they can just continue replenishing. It's so powerful. But yeah, okay, another thing I noticed about Antimage's play, and I was wondering your thoughts on this, is the fact that he seems to start off with the Robo play and then move on to building double star, and actually, yeah, just as I say, yeah, there's a Stargate that's being produced right now.
Oh, yes, there is.
What do you think of, do you think he's going to use this for Void Rays, or no, never mind, throw down the second Stargate, so it'll probably be Phoenixes again. And I was wondering how you thought, what you were thinking about his Phoenix play.
Well, Phoenixes are actually a really great unit in almost every matchup. They take out Vikings really quickly. 7 shots kills 1 Viking for a Phoenix. And they can, if the Terran player is getting tanks, which a lot of players don't, but some players do get siege tanks, the Phoenixes can lift those siege tanks. And that's really bad for Terran. So, but primarily it's just focus down the Vikings and keep the Colossus alive.
Yep.
But here, it looks like it's not going to matter. The Colossus are just doing a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Good force fields. Good timing by Antimage. Looks like CocoA's in trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, those were some perfect force fields and perfect army movements coming from Antimage. And but CocoA's got the high ground. He's actually using the high ground to use his Marauders to start hitting those Colossi. They're not going to kill any, but still, they're weakening at least one of them. But CocoA's being funneled into little tiny chokes right now, and that's a really bad spot for him to be. Right now, these Stalkers are going to start attacking the Vikings, but they actually pull back in time. But still,
the sooner Antimage gets his gold expansion saturated, the bigger his lead is going to get now.
Yep. And he's about to have the added bonus of Phoenixes coming out. He's chrono boosting them out. And yep, he's starting the pro train. You can see it from the main going to the gold right now. He's got sending over 9 probes.
Very solid play from Antimage. The Phoenixes are going to do a really good job tanking damage from the Vikings. Another thing I'd like to mention about that is, even if you don't focus down the Vikings with your Phoenixes, they will automatically attack the Vikings, and sometimes if the Terran player isn't careful to micro his Vikings, they'll just waste their shots shooting at the Phoenix instead of shooting at the Colossi.
Yep, and that's very, very key, because Colossi can be a little squishy at times.
Yeah, they sure can.
Yeah, I mean, because there are armor. If you can get like 3 or 4 Marauders and stim them, they can kill a Colossus surprisingly fast. Yeah,
Marauders do great damage against Colossi, especially when they have some upgrades. I would like to see at least an attack upgrade from CocoA here. Looks like he hasn't started one yet and doesn't have any plans to. He's not mining from his other gas at his natural, which he should probably be doing. But it seems like he's just a little bit scrambling right now. Yeah, kind of worried.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was just when he pulled off SCVs, he only remembered to put them on one gas instead of both. But yeah, oh, look at his main. He's basically mined out, and he has a ton of SCVs. Like, he's got enough to fully saturate another base just at his main that has 2 mineral patches left or something. But yeah.
Here come the Phoenixes.
Oh, no, they actually be able to see the gold expansion coming up, so that's actually really good for Antimage. He knows the exact timing of that.
Good observer placement by Antimage. He knows Terran's coming in. I don't know if he's paying good enough attention. There he goes.
Okay, so just start moving. Now, where are the force fields? Gotta get really good force fields. The Phoenixes are out. Good position on the Phoenixes to try and get them to hit the Vikings without getting hit by the Marines. A lot of Stalkers out, but they're getting melted by these Marauders. The Marauder count is massive. Antimage is in a really tough spot. The Vikings are actually not landing now, so the Phoenixes are only going to hit the medevacs. They're going to get killed by the Marines, and all of a sudden, Antimage has nothing, and CocoA has a gigantic army. Oh, that was not good for him.
The 4 medevac count number makes the Marauders just so strong, Xander. They just don't die. Yeah. And you got to be real careful as Protoss. He seemed like he waited a little too long to start grouping his army for that attack.
So, yes, that was great by CocoA. Let's move on to the next game.